everything just really changes. Like when you become a mom, it did for me. And, especially, having him and I had a natural, like I didn't have an epidural with my birth. And I just felt that, such an overwhelming support from my nurse and her role as a labor and delivery nurse with me during my birth. And I just felt how important that job was, so it just made me realize how much more important my job is as a labor and delivery nurse. And I just, on the floor, as a working nurse, there's only so many patients that you can care for and so many patients that you can educate. But I was like, if I can just start something to, try and educate as many people out there as I can, like how great would that be? So that was kind of my thought behind it.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Mom Does It All. If you're looking for encouragement, empowerment, and uplifting in motherhood and mompreneurship, this is a show for you. I'm your host, Marta Spurk, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. In this episode, I talked to Liesel, labor and delivery nurse, who now uses her Instagram account to educate new moms about what's to come. Such a great conversation about pregnancy, motherhood, and business. Let's get right to it. Hi, Liesel. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you're here to tell us about your story. I connected with you on Instagram, and I love all the information that you have on there. You've been a labor and delivery nurse for a while, but you started your Instagram after you had kids, as you were telling me. So I would love for you to share more about your journey with this career, and then the transitions into motherhood, and now helping moms, becoming moms, and all the
no, it's definitely been a crazy journey. That's for sure. So I've been a labor and delivery nurse now for about 5 years. 5 years. I've been a nurse for 6 years.
Okay.
And I've been in labor and delivery now for 5 years. And my son he will be like 2.5 this summer. 2.5 this summer. I'm like thinking when his birthday is. I'm like, wait a second, his birthday is not in the summer. But he's 2.5. So I was working as a labor and delivery nurse before I had him, and then I got pregnant. I got married and I got pregnant, and then I had him. And we were just talking about it. Like everything just really changes. Like when you become a mom, it did for me, and especially having him and I had a natural, like I didn't have an epidural with my birth. And I just felt that, such an overwhelming support from my nurse and her role as a labor and delivery nurse with me during my birth. And I just felt how important that job was, so it just made me realize how much more important my job is as a labor and delivery nurse. And I just, on the floor, as a working nurse, there's only so many patients that you can care for and so many patients that you can educate. But I was like, if I can just start something to, try and educate as many people out there as I can, like how great would that be? So that was kind of my thought behind it. I kind of got the idea when he was 6 or 7 months old. I had gone back to work when he was 3 months old, and I love my job, obviously, but I love my son more. And I wanted to just stay home with him all the time. That was just the struggle. So, it was tough going back. And then I went, down to part-time. That was hard, still being only, still 2 12-hour shifts a week. And then it was like, gosh, I still feel like I need to be with him. Right. So I kind of got the idea to start this Instagram and start this platform when he was, probably 6 or 7 months old. And I kind of got it started, and I launched it when he was about a year. It's been crazy. crazy.
Such
since.
fast growth too.
Yeah. So I started it in February of 2018. Yeah. So he was a year. And then it really kind of took off in October, November of that year. So, 6 or 7 months ago, it really kind of Instagram. I got a hold of Instagram and really dove into Instagram growth and getting on there and making pictures on there and attracting people on there. So it's been crazy ever since. But it's my labor and delivery nurse, being a labor and delivery nurse was like my full-time job. And, you know, my blog was like my part-time side kind of thing. And now like my blog is my full-time thing.
That's
and, like,
crazy.
I'm still a working nurse, but I'm casual. So I work, you know, as little as I can, just, you know, to kind of keep my hours and keep my skills and stuff. But yeah, it's great. I couldn't ask for like a better schedule because I can kind of do my stuff. You know, he's taking a nap right now, so I can kind of do what I need to do while he's taking a nap, or he even goes to preschool a few days a week now. So I can kind of get some stuff done while he's at preschool too. So it's great. I can't ask for a better situation.
Yes, that's amazing. So I have a couple of questions, the things that I'm curious about. First is, what changed for you with all the knowledge that you had and then becoming a mom and experiencing that yourself? And also I'm curious to know what people usually ask you the most and what women seem to have the most, you know, questions and doubts in terms of what. So
in labor.
I
would say probably what changed the most for me as a mom. I would say, well, first of all, just going through labor, that was way different than I had even expected. You know, I mean, even taking care of moms as a nurse, you know, I knew pretty well what I was getting into. Right. But once you're actually going through it, it's completely different when you're the patient. And these contractions hurt way more than I thought they were going to, you know? So that was just kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I just had a lot more empathy for my patients afterwards. You know, not that I didn't before. I mean, I've always been it's just different because you're like, gosh, I even, you know, I remember my first few days back at work going back and just being like, gosh, I just did this 3 months ago in this room, you know, I'm like, in the same room, goodness. You know? So it's just, I think you just have a lot more empathy for patients of labor and, you know, just in C-section, just birth in general. You just have a lot more empathy because it's like, gosh, I've been through this and I know exactly your fears and your doubts and what you're experiencing and how much it hurts and how crazy this is and everything. So yeah, I think that's definitely what changed for me. So in terms of questions that I get, I think most moms are just, you know, part of the reason I started my whole blog is because I feel like moms are somewhat undereducated out here, you know, so there's a need for more education about pregnancy and birth so we can make better decisions going into our births.
Yes.
So it's hard to think of just like a few questions that are the most common. I mean, I would say, I mean, I get a lot of like, what's it like to have I have a lot of first time moms. So I would say a lot of the questions are just, you know, what is it really like? Or what's this like? Or what is labor? Or what are you getting yourself into? Or how bad is this a contraction or is this not a contraction? Or, you know, just stuff like that. But yeah, so.
Wow, that's so interesting. I love that. And I'm very curious into learning more about how you got to grow your Instagram and really find these women and get your word out there. And I feel like probably becoming a mom gave you more of this authority into, I want to do this and I want to talk about my knowledge now being a mom and have people relate to you, especially the first time moms. So what are some of the things that you did to attract this audience and to grow into a business now?
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy because I started it in February and I did take a class in September, I think, right before I started to really get big that year. And I took a class, it was just on, you know, Instagram growth. And it could be for any type of, you know, it wasn't just for like a pregnancy, you know, labor type account. It could be for anybody. And I just applied it to my account. And I just really changed my feed and made my pictures a lot more uniform. I've always been lucky that my dad was actually a professional photographer in the 90s. So he did children's photography and wedding photography, and he's retired now. He doesn't do that anymore, but he has a lot of knowledge and skills when it comes to photography. And my parents live local. We live pretty close to each other. So
nice.
My dad they actually have like a little studio in their house. So it's like a little white background and like big lights and, you know, stuff that he used years ago for his photography. Yeah. And so I just kind of started to get into it and I started to do just the uniform, you know, white background pictures make my feed really, really clear and concise. And really one of the first things that I did was the audience that I already had. I had about, let me think now. Now I'm going to forget exactly how many followers I had when I first started.
Right.
I think it was like 6,800 and some odd followers when I first started, like back in October. And I asked them, the people who have been following me already, I asked them exactly what they wanted to see from me in my stories. And I had some of them fill out a little survey form, and everybody was saying labor and delivery, pregnancy, breastfeeding stuff, all of this stuff. Cause on my profile, it said, I'm a labor and delivery nurse, and that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
But my feed, before I kind of started changing up my account, I was kind of going for more of a lifestyle theme. Every once in a while, I would throw in some labor and delivery education, but it wasn't consistent. It was very, sometimes my son would be up there. We would talk about preschool, just anything, like just my life, and I kind of thought I should do it that way because I have my blog that is, I'm writing articles, and I'm on Pinterest, and everything is labor and delivery and breastfeeding and pregnancy on my blog. But then I was like, well, it'll be cool for my Instagram to kind of be about me and my lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. But I started to poll my viewers, and they said, we want to hear labor and delivery stuff and pregnancy stuff and breastfeeding stuff.
Wow.
Hello, like you're a labor and delivery nurse. So I was like, oh my gosh, like that's what I need to do with my account. I needed to be basically my blog and just do it in picture form.
Yeah.
And then once I got once that hit me, it was like a flood of ideas just hit me. Like I was like, okay, I can do this picture. I can do cervical exams. I can do,
wow,
placenta it's like all of this stuff. And I remember that one night I kept rolling over, like writing stuff down, like,
that's amazing.
I'm going to do this picture. I'm going to do this picture. I'm going to do this picture. And now it's just about that. It's just about creativity. And, there's still so many things, so many pictures that I feel like I could do. And I'm even starting now to kind of repurpose my content too, because the nice thing about having a pregnant audience is people are always getting pregnant. You always have new people.
You can recycle.
You always have new people following you and new, so it's like I can kind of recycle my stuff that I did 6 months ago and start, reposting it and stuff. But yeah, so once I started to kind of ask them and change my feed, it really just kind of skyrocketed from there. And I started what I started doing was tagging bigger accounts and getting shout outs on, bigger pages that are, pregnancy or, whatever kind of motherhood or whatever. Yeah. And people would post my pictures up on there. And so I started to get followers that way. And, I would have people tag in the comments, people, you just get, I think once the snowball effect happens, like you just start, and now it's like, I don't even tag people anymore. I just my pictures just come up on the explore page or, they come up wherever in the little hashtag thing. Yes. And like people just follow me kind of organically. So it's been great. I mean, I can't complain. It's been really crazy growth, for my account. Amazing. So that's just kind of how it happened. And yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, the other thing I think people mistake too is like for Instagram, a lot of people are all about doing these lifestyle kind of accounts that I was trying to do. And I kind of looked at it like, okay, what am I doing for my audience when I'm posting lifestyle pictures? They're not really learning anything from me. Right. Yeah, maybe they're learning about me, but it's not really helping them at all. So if I can create my feed and my pictures to where I'm actually helping you, giving you knowledge or, it's going to go over a lot better and you're going to be more engaged and you're going to want to comment. So yeah, I think that's something that people really miss is that if you can curate your feed to be able to help your audience, like it's going to get a lot more engagement and you're going to get a lot more followers. So
provide some value.
Yes.
What's in it for them, right?
Exactly. Well, that's what I learned in this class too, is that, people are selfish. I mean, that sounds bad, but you're just looking. True. It's true. It's true. You're going to be a lot more attracted to a picture or content that, is designed to help you.
Yes.
then
Totally.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
100%. And so you have 2 courses now. What are kind of like the programs that you have for people wanting to learn from you directly?
Yeah. So I came out with my first course in February, and that one, and they're both birth courses, and they're very, it's basically like my whole blog and a lot of my, Instagram, all of this knowledge that I've kind of just put together. And if you want, it's basically like a birth class that you could take at a hospital, but it's online.
Nice.
And it's both of them are about 3 hours to go through, and it's videos of me talking and then text, a bunch of text underneath that you can read. And some of them were just text, but it's great for, any kind of mom. I'd say first time moms, but I've had second, third, fourth time moms, take them too. The first one I came out with is more tailored towards moms who want to go without epidurals and do kind of more natural, kind of stuff. I do talk about epidurals and C-sections in that one because I know that some moms are going to take that course and get epidurals, and I want them to be informed about it, And then my second one that I just came out with is very, very similar to that course in terms of education about birth and what you're getting yourself into. But I'm just kind of teaching it differently, and it's more tailored towards a mom who would definitely want to get an epidural. Because it's a little bit of a different experience. So we talk about, and I do have a section in that one too that is called Oops, I accidentally went natural, because there are moms, I've had plenty of moms message me and say, I'm so glad that I took your course. I'm so glad I read this article, because I wanted an epidural, but I went so fast and I ended up delivering without any, without any medicine. So I have a section in there. So it's I kind of have both, which way you want to go. And then I am working on one. We talk about C-sections in both of them, because obviously moms are going to get unexpected C-sections, but I do have one that I'm going to come out with. That's just going to be like a mini course. That is going to be for a mom who is having like a scheduled C-section. So that's my goal for the next month or the next couple months to get out with that one. Then I can cover any kind of mom. Yeah. So
amazing. Oh, I love that so much. And usually closing out the episode, before you give me your links and all the things to find you, I usually ask guests to give me some piece of advice. And since you work with pregnant moms, what is your biggest piece of advice for that mom that is, maybe third trimester or whatever in her journey, and, have those fears, those concerns that very well working with this? What's kind of like the biggest piece of advice that you usually give?
Yeah. So no, that's great. So I've already kind of talked about it, and I'll just say, continue to educate yourself and read and, learn as much as you can about your birth and what you want your birth to be. Make sure that you're going to a provider that you trust and that you feel like is hearing you. That's really, really important. But yeah, I would say just education. Even in the third trimester, I have moms take my course and I'm not just talking about, take my course, my course, and just talking about just read, just continue to educate yourself, because the moms who I take care of, or who I see come in who are educated and, they've done birth education, they know what they're getting themselves into. They feel a lot more empowered coming into their birth. They feel less scared. Their anxiety is less, it just kind of sets you up for a great, experience. Usually, of course, there's going to be things that happen, but usually these women have much more empowering, less like crazy, scary births. And I think knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, continue to educate yourself.
Yeah. Just helps you feel more confident, even if
for sure
you face unexpected situations, which is bound to happen.
Exactly.
You kind of know how to navigate the situation a little bit better.
Exactly.
Awesome. So how can we find you? So you have your blog, the courses. Tell us how to find all the things.
Yeah. So my blog is mommylabornurse.com. And then I'm also at there's a dot in there, at mommy.labornurse on Instagram. And that's definitely where I'm most active. I usually post every day except Sundays. I take Sundays off, and then I do like a little Q&A on Sunday, Sunday afternoon or Sunday nights. I do questions on there. And then my course it's in my little Instagram bio, but it's just mommylabornurse.teachable.com. And both of my courses are on there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Liesel. This was great. I'm sure lots of moms are going to go check you out and take your course and get informed.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Whether you're a new mom or not, I hope you got some value out of our conversation. Don't forget to connect with Liesel and me. Let me know your thoughts about the show. Until next time, bye.